You start out with a 2-on-1 out top, and then you just start to add people. So, and you always, the offense will always have one more. So it starts out with these 2-on-1. As soon as that's over, a whistle blows. We step in, this guy here, and this guy here, and it becomes a 3-on-2. Coach throws the ball, and then the coach will throw the ball to somebody, and we start again. And then once we're done with the 3-on-2, either there's a shot, the ball hits the ground, and you don't belabor it. The ball hits the ground, we're done with that. Then we're moving to a 4-on-3, and then it culminates with a 5-on-4. So then 2-on-21 to 56. So that's our second third of practice, the stuff that we're doing, and we're sort of, you can see we're sort of starting to build up to the third, which is where we would do kind of the things that now if somebody walked out there, they'd sort of see, okay, well that kind of looks like a lacrosse game, right? So 6-on-6 in the half field, and we're probably working on, offensively we're working on something, one of our offensive sets, whatever, defensively, whatever it is that we do. We have zone and man, different days we'll do different things. Everybody does man up, man down. I don't know, every coach I ever had did at the end of practice. I don't know why, it's like a rule, but we usually do it at the end of practice too. But you always want to, you want to make sure, that's, man up is an opportunity to get an easy goal. And so you want to make sure that you don't, neglect that. Full field scrimmages, we do those, but we try to always have something that we're trying to get accomplished, something we're focused on. Sometimes it's the face-off game, so we'll just stop it. It goes on for a little bit, we'll stop it, go back to the face-off again. Go for a little while, stop it, whether goal scored or whatever. We're just trying to get a bunch of face-offs. And in the face-offs, not only are we working on, getting how to get the ball, but also if we're substituting off the face-off, or if we're, if the other team's substituting off the face-off, and there's things that we want to do to get the ball back while they do that, that's the kind of stuff we work on. We also do ride and clear ones, so we're just, we'll just stop it and clear it from wherever it is. And, we're looking to get quickly into our clear, and then get, and on the other hand, get quickly into our ride. And also that works on the substitution stuff as well. Short field drills.
Got about 8 minutes.
I got 25, 35 after. Oh, we don't get to go to 10, do we?
No.
Yeah. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, so that's you're not too fast. In terms of conditioning, different theories on that. So you'll hear college coaches say we don't ever do it. In high school, I think you have to do it. That's just my opinion. But we do try to put some kind of lacrosse in. So we do like relays where there's guys going across the field and they have to scoop the ball, carry the ball, drop the ball, but they're really just running. You've got some limitations. Not enough coaches, field too small. We talked about that. The short field drills are great, and I don't have time to go over them. I wasn't even planning on it. Hopefully, maybe somebody will cover some of that today, but if not, you can find that stuff on the internet. That's just really shrinking the field and the numbers of players and doing things that you can get out of that. Takeaway points. Standing and watching is bad practice. As much as you can, get everybody engaged in doing stuff fun. They'll be more motivated, engaged. More touches, they'll get better faster. Avoid extending drills to get it right. You get that feeling like we're doing fast breaks and every pass sails over the point guy's head. You've ever been there for that? Don't do fast breaks for the rest of practice until you get it right. I know you want to, but don't do that. That demoralizes everybody. You do the drill, it's just like a game. We don't score, we should have scored. We're not going to get to go back and try to score again. That's it. It's over. And always try to get your drills to simulate some part of the game.
It actually ties in really well with one of the first parts I was going to talk about. I promise I'll go quick so we don't run out of time. But face-offs, kind of like most specialty things, don't get a lot of time in practice, right? There's a lot of other things to get in, chunk of practice. But if you can spend 5 or 10 minutes twice a week, you can get some pretty big results, right? What I always tell my kids, there's no right way to do a face-off. People have different strategies, different techniques. As a coach, find what works for your kid. The biggest thing that you can do, consistency and repetition. And I say it a lot. It's basically what I want for my kids every single time. We want to build that muscle memory. We're practicing the face-off. Everything that we do, we practice the face-off. I'll talk to you real quick how I run my face-off practice in 5 to 10 minutes. Every time to build that muscle memory, build the consistency, build the repetition, so that when we go out and take a face-off, they're not thinking about, do I know how to catch and throw, do I know how to clamp, do I know how to know what I'm doing? They can just react and be. So really, when I do my practices, like I said, you saw on the practice plans, we generally get about 10 to 15 minutes of individual skill work. You can do a lot of work in this time. When I do it, my practices start exactly the same way every single time, and it's the same way before games, to build that muscle memory. The very first thing, and I don't know how many of you guys know tons about face-off work, and that's fine, you don't have to. Just, this is how I lay it out, and you can apply that any way you want. First thing we always do is chops. You guys may have seen all the face-off guys when they're all huddled over doing those little hand drills. It's just warming your hands up, getting some speed, getting some hand-eye coordination going. Now, every single one, tell the guys down, set, blow the whistle, just like a real face-off. Because what you want to do is you want to build not just the muscle memory, but the mental memory as well. So they know this is what I'm doing. When they hear down, set, whistle, they're reacting. The next step on that, each part builds on it, right? So the first time, down, set, whistle, chops, we're just moving our hands. The next time we do it, down, set, whistle, we're clamping and stepping. So kind of like what you'd see in a real move, but we're not really going further than that. You're still building the mechanics. You can teach small parts like how do you step, how do you clamp, where are you going, that kind of deal. And all that stuff's a little bit higher level, and hopefully some of your kids can get some experience with other coaches doing it, or if you know how to do it yourself, you can sit and work with them. But kind of the core message is still the same, build it up slowly. Then we do clamp, step, rotate. So basically, we clamp and step, then we rotate. So we move our feet around, so we get used to reacting to the whistle. Because whenever you see the face-off, you see sometimes guys get jammed up and they have to move side to side. So building that part into it as well. And the last piece is clamp, step, rotate, play it out. Right? So then you play it out and scoop it up, simulating a full step. So each part builds on the next. You're building muscle memory, you're building specific skills in each part of that. So like I said, I'll keep it super, super short. Consistency, repetition with these guys. I know it's tough to get a guy who knows what they're doing on face-offs. The off-season is your friend. If you can get them to go talk to another coach or see another coach, or if you have time in the off-season yourself to sit down. Like right now I'm working with 2 of our guys every Sunday. We go out for an hour and just work on it to get the basics kind of built in, and as the season goes along, you kind of refine it. So I'm sorry I cut that one really short.
Well, actually, we have what, 9:50, am I right?
A little before that. So that's
You still got a few minutes.
Sorry, I can talk about face-offs all day. I know it's the most boring thing for some people, but I get really dumb about it. After you kind of build that out, those steps every single time, we'll get some live reps in. You'll kind of see when you're doing live reps, just like if you talk about passing and catching, you're not really going to see how they react until you're doing it at game speed in a practice situation. So a guy can pass and catch on the wall break, you put him into a fast break, you only say on the pass, right? You want to get live reps. You'll see a lot of learning. I have a couple kids who, when they do it, they'll do it perfectly. When it's just them, down, set, whistle, perfectly, executing every single time. You put them against somebody else, all that goes out the window. It's a matter of kind of saying, okay, slow it down, think about what you're doing, build it up in the muscle memory as you go through, and then it slowly comes around. And the best part is when the light bulb goes on, when you say down, set, whistle, and they mess up, they immediately stand up and go, that's what I did, isn't it? You go, yep, that's it. And they start to get it. And that's when you see most of the leaps and bounds is when you see the live practice stuff. After you look at the live reps, everyone loves that. It's competition. They get excited. They get to face off against somebody, and it's pretty simple. Face off to 1v1, so you know who wins and know who loses, and kids don't like to lose. So that's really great for getting them to really refine the mechanics. It can get boring when you just say down, set, whistle over and over and over again, but they need it. Like I said, consistency and repetition is the key for that one. And then you can always build in kind of specific drills. We do some stuff I call 50-50 work, where you'll start with one guy kind of clamped halfway, and the other guy straight up and down still. And basically what you're simulating there is every face-off guy's going to run into somebody at some point who's better than him, he's faster than him, he's quicker than him. You're not going to beat him on a straight clamp. What do you do then? This is kind of simulating that. It's work for both guys. So the guy's halfway down, he really needs to work on finishing the move. You see some guys who can win clamps really easily, but don't know where to put the ball, can't pick it up themselves. So you're working on that with them, saying, all right, you don't have to worry about the first part of it, act like you've already got the ball, finish the move. The other guy has to work on, how do I compete against that? So you can do kind of some specific stuff through there. But like I said, there's no right way to do a face-off. If you can just give kids consistent feedback on this is what I expect from you and slowly building muscle memory up, they'll be fine. So if anybody has specific questions, more than happy to answer them, but this is a really quick overview of that.
Peter, how do you think the new rule changes will impact the way you coach face-off, if that?
It's a tough one. It really depends on kind of how they're doing it. I've never really taught kids to do more of a pinch and pop, carry it in the back. So it's not really an issue for me necessarily when I coach them. But, you know, kind of coaching a little bit more, you can be a little bit more specific with the mechanics as how they come up with the ball. Perhaps rolling it out instead of pinching it and bringing it up. So, I mean, that's the tough thing. Yeah.
Do you teach drills? Let's say you go up against somebody who's going to clamp quicker than you are. That secondary move to
100%, yeah. So I teach my kids every single time. We start with the clamp because obviously it's the basics. We want to go there, and then we work into. I'm a big believer in the jump, and not just the head over. I always teach the kids shaft over the ball, to punching it against hand. It's really one of my favorite moves. Actually, I use it all the time in college. So yeah, I'm a big believer in the secondary move. I really think kids should have two moves. One that you go to, and then one if that's not working. After that, yeah, you can teach as many moves as you want, but I'd rather have a kid do 2 really good moves than 5 okay moves.
We got another question in the back, yes, sir?
When you're doing your face-off drills, do you ever do anything to incorporate the wing play as far as them coming in?
Yeah.
And if so, like what do you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Now, that's kind of where you can kind of get creative. For the most part, when we're structuring practices, I get 10 minutes with the guys, but I really want to focus on getting the face-off guy stuff right. And as the season goes on, we try to build that out more into some of the live stuff like we were saying we do. The scrimmages, well, face-off scrimmages where you get full wing play and stuff like that. When you're doing live reps, occasionally I've asked for, hey, can I get a couple of wing guys for this? Because it's good reps for the wing guys. So you can do it a couple different ways. You could say, hey, we're going to do one-on-one with wing pairing, right? So we'll say we'll get 6 guys out there simulate a face-off. The problem with that is you need a lot of space and you need a lot of guys. So it can be, kind of a problem in practice. It's better sometimes to work it into the live scrimmage type stuff. But we'll talk with the wing guys, where we want the position. Generally, and this is you'll see this from most things, people will drop the pole to protect against the fast break and kind of have the short stick on the other guy's hip. That's kind of like the basic thing when you start. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff after that, but we try to work it into kind of more of the live action stuff. Makes sense.
Any other questions, face-offs, practice planning, any other stuff? All right, well, thanks guys, thanks for being here.